Hi everybody, and welcome back to Yokai Hime's voiceovers. Today I am going to be doing the first chapter of Florian Atlas, the Demon Professor. So without further ado, let's choose Florian Atlas. Episode 1, Diamond in the Rough. I let out a groan as I hear the incessant ringing of my phone alarm clock. As I reach over to turn it off, my head throbs in pain. Oof, talk about a hangover. I sit up in bed, barely able to open my eyes. God, I really had too much to drink last night. I can't even remember how I got home. I try to recall the previous night's events, but my memory is filled with holes. All I can remember is eagerly chugging one shot after another at the town's bar, but the in-between is all a blur. My worrisome thoughts are interrupted by another notification from my phone. Alarm reminder number 4. Get out of bed, woman. You have class in half an hour. Ack! I completely forgot. It's still a weekday. If I'm late again, Atlas will have my head. I quickly attempt to jump out of bed, only to have my head start pounding again. Ugh. I can't believe I got wasted on a Thursday night. What's my life coming to? Well, I guess there's no point in complaining about it now. I'll just get through this dumb morning and come back and sleep all weekend. As I stare at the board of my world history class, I can feel my eyelids slowly drooping down. Finally, succumbing to sleep's sweet serenade, I momentarily lose the ongoing battle between my exhaustion, and I close my eyes. Yona! Yes? Since you seem to be so absolutely enthralled by today's lesson, please tell the class. Who was the famed Spanish conquistador who led the conquest of the Incan Empire? Francisco Pizarro. Francisco Pizarro. Professor Atlas raises an eyebrow in surprise as his lips curve into a smile. Correct. Well done. You can continue your nap now. Clearly your ears are still working. Chuckles emerge from around the class as my cheeks flush pink. The professor shoots me a coy smile before turning around and continuing on with the lesson. I let out a quiet sigh of relief before straightening my posture and focusing on the lecture. The professor glances at his watch before turning to the class. I'm handing your papers from last week back now. Please remember to review your midterm assessments for the online final exam, and I feel my stomach tighten at the mention of the word final exam and inadvertently gulp. As the professor walks down the rows, he places everyone's paper face down on their desks. I've attached my comments to your title pages. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, have a nice weekend. As he finishes delivering the papers, Students begin to file out of class. I quickly look down as he approaches my desk. A feeling of guilt arises as I remember half-assing this assignment the night before it was due while binge-watching anime. The professor places the paper face down on my desk and clears his throat as he walks away. I hesitantly stare at its blank back before slowly turning it over. My eyes widen in surprise. 73 out of 100. Laziness does not behoove talent. I know you are capable of much better. He's not wrong, but it could have been worse, so I'll take it. I let out a breath of relief as I quickly stand up and shuffle out of the classroom, reading over the rest of the paper or professor's markings in red ink. I happily munch on some chips as I walk through campus towards the local bus stop. Phew! My hangover wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I still want to go home and sleep, though. As I continue walking, I overhear the conversation of two students nearby. Man, I'm so glad this semester's almost over. Now I can sell some of these stupid textbooks and get back some cash. Yeah, you're right. That's a great idea. My chemistry one was almost the price of the new laptop I wanted. My ears perk up as I remember being forced to buy outrageously expensive textbooks this semester as well. He's right. I can sell mine now, too. Atlas's textbook this semester was super expensive. I thought I'd have to take out a loan to afford the tuition along with it. Speaking of tuition, I should probably look into a job for the summer before next semester's bills hit. Suddenly, I look over at my bag and notice it feels slightly lighter than usual. I stop by a nearby bench as I open the bag and begin to look through it. Wait, where is that stupid textbook? I grow increasingly anxious as I rummage and rummage, but to no avail. I grab my bag and dump it out on the bench. I see an odd-looking pen fly out as I briefly remember my strange encounter yesterday. Oh yeah, that old lady gave me this along with some weird notebook. I glance around my bag and notice that the strange notebook isn't there either, along with my missing overpriced textbook. Ugh! Why do I always lose everything? What is this? But I know I had my textbook with me this morning. Maybe I left it in class by accident. Glancing at the time, I stuff everything into my bag again in a hurry before heading back towards the direction of the classroom. As I enter a familiar hall, I see the classroom door is still propped open from the inside. Yes, someone's still there, thank goodness. But right as I'm about to enter, I spot Professor Atlas and another female student standing suspiciously close to each other. On pure instinct, I quickly hide behind a wall. Slowly, I peek my head inside and watch the scenario unfold before me. The young student clutches her bag as she closes her eyes. Her cheeks are flushed and her mouth quivers. Professor Atlas? I'm in love with you. I always have been. Please go on a date with me. Holy crap! What did I just walk in on? I watch as Professor Atlas stares at the girl for a few moments, before crossing his arms and letting out a quick sigh. My apologies, but that's definitely not going to happen. But, but, you're single, right? Why not? The girl presses on as I peek my head out further, slightly feeling bad for eavesdropping, but also slightly wishing I had popcorn. Because you always want to watch rejection. Please, just give me a chance. We're both adults, and I really... Adults? His tone suddenly grows icy, and his eyes grow dark. He begins moving closer to the girl as she slowly backs up to the wall. He leans down to whisper in her ear, but luckily, I'm at a close enough distance to catch what he says. An adult? Sweetheart, don't flatter yourself. Your grammar level is barely above the 6th grade. That's so mean. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some adults out there that have bad grammar, I think. Besides, do you truly believe you can satisfy me as an adult? I have lots of needs, you know. The girl's eyes widen as she peers up at him. I swear I can see blood gushing out of her nose. I mean, if you said that to me, I'd be like, I'd probably have blood gushing out of my nose too. Just saying. Needs? Atlas's demeanor changes almost immediately as he steps back, now beaming his usual gentlemanly smile. Ah, no. Okay. I'm flattered, I truly am. But unfortunately, I have a strict no dating my students policy, and so does this university. And as luck would have it, I rather enjoy this job. Now please remember to submit your assignment through the web portal by next week. Unable to form an articulate reply, the girl mutters an apology as she runs out of the door in tears. Ouch! That hurt. That was harsh. I better get out of here before he sees me. I'll just wait until he leaves and ask the janitor to unlock the room or something. Yeah, 'cause you don't want him to know you're eavesdropping. Bad Yona. As I begin to slowly creep away, a sharp tone from behind me stops me dead in my tracks. And tell me, just what do you think you're doing? Shoot. Looking for this, I presume? I turn around to see him holding my textbook in the air. A wry smile plays on his face as he raises an eyebrow at me. But eavesdropping is terribly impolite. Should I teach you some new manners, Miss Yona? Yes, Professor Atlas, teach me some manners. I'm sorry, Professor Atlas. I just came back to get my textbook and then I didn't want to interrupt. He sighs as he shakes his head, handing the book back to me. I suppose it worked out in the end. I need to speak with you privately. Follow me to my office. Right now? No, in 10 minutes, just saying. If you're gonna follow me, it implies right now. Yes, now. I grab the hem of my dress nervously as my eyes dart about the small office. A few moments later, Professor Atlas reemerges and takes a seat across a desk strewn with papers and textbooks everywhere. My apologies for the wait. Now then, where was I? Professor Atlas adjusts his glasses as he pulls out a file from a nearby cabinet. As he places the file on the desk, I see my name on the label. Aside from being a professor, I'm also temporarily serving as an academic advisor, while our current one is out on maternity leave. As luck would have it, you are one of the students I was assigned to. Oh, wonderful. Like I need another reason to get called out by you. I see that you are almost done with your general courses, but you have still yet to pick a major. May I ask why that is? I fidget nervously in my seat for a few minutes. It's a question I've been asked before, but find myself avoiding a lot. Um, I haven't decided on anything yet, I guess. The, there's just so many majors to choose from, and, um, the professor grows quiet for a few moments. I can feel his gaze studying my face and movements as I attempt to avoid eye contact. Eventually, he leans back in his chair and drops the file folder on top of his desk. Ah, struggling with the paradox of choice, are we? The what? The paradox of choice is a psychological phenomenon that essentially states that the more choices there are for an individual to make, the less satisfied we become, and the harder it is for one to make a choice. I feel that though, I mean, I feel that I connect with this girl on a personal level. I don't know what I want to do with my life either, just saying. I see, and yes, honestly, I totally relate to that. Professor Atlas chuckles before continuing on. I'm afraid you aren't the only one who does. Many students right now are faced with an overwhelming amount of choices to make. One of the more tougher ones being asked is, well, this one. What do you want to spend the next several years worth of time, money, and energy doing? This is a choice that may or may not dictate an entirely different course of your life will take altogether. Is there any way to make this easier on someone? As much as I wish I could say otherwise, there isn't. I mean, what about an aptitude test? There are plenty of those, I think. The answer lies inside of you, and only you will be able to decide. However, You do eventually need to decide this, Yona. That is, if you wish to continue your studies here. I looked down at my bag and sighed dejectedly. In reality, I have tried, Professor. I've spent a lot of time thinking about my future, but every time my thought lingers to that area, I just feel so overwhelmed. Anytime I think of a possible route to take, I'm filled with so many questions I can't answer, and it's terrifying, if I'm being completely honest. My voice trails off as I tighten my grip on the hem of my dress. Professor Atlas narrows his eyes at me and as he straightens up. Yona, do you have a dream? I mean, everybody has dreams as a child. Just not many people act on them. I bite my lip at his question. Tell him the truth. No, I don't think I do. I see. I feel an overwhelming sense of sadness as the professor's vague answer, and my own inability to form a decisive stance. Suddenly, the professor stands up and heads towards the cabinet behind me. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your life structure be. I mean, that's fair. Nobody's life structure is built in a day. But, in this case, I guess it kind of is, because she wrote in the notebook. She just doesn't know. And relax. I didn't call you in here just to drill you about your life choices anyway. You didn't? No. I called you in for this. Please sign your name and initials down at the bottom. My eyes widen at the title of the paper he places before me. Student Research Assistant, Faculty Scholarship Nomination Application. As I read over the details, my jaw drops slightly. This is a prestigious and highly sought-after position among many students in the university. It essentially lets a student serve as an understudy to a faculty member for 1 full year. Besides being awarded a monthly stipend, students chosen are also awarded a full tuition scholarship. What the hell is this? Professor Atlas, I think you must be mistaken. I don't ever even reach the GPA average to qualify for the minimum requirements printed here. Oh, nonsense. That's already been taken care of. I assured the deans that you'll not only meet the grade point average, but also maintain it. Because that's totally something you can promise. He knows her better than most, but still. I'll even be privately tutoring you to make sure of it. Every single day. That's scary. My head spins as I read all the zeros next to the monthly stipend amount. I can feel hesitation wringing my heart as my brain fails to process the unfolding situation. But Why me? There are so many others, more deserving students out there. At this, Professor Atlas smiles at me. Heat fills my cheeks as he stares into my eyes with a determined gaze. It's intimidating, yet I'm unable to look away. I'm afraid you don't give yourself quite enough credit, my dear. Did you not read my comment on your paper today? You have talent, but it's maybe hidden under under your boorish and lazy demeanor. But it's there. I can see it in your work. A compliment and an insult at the same time. Love it. Therefore, it's my job, not just as your professor, but as someone who is highly devoted to the expansion of academia, that I bring it out of you. And I'm prepared to do so by any means necessary. Any means, huh? I'm speechless as I look down at the application in my hands again. My name, details, and everything is already here. All that's left, really, is my signature. My heart races as I look back up towards my professor's earnest emerald gaze. A sincere smile plays at his lips as he hands me a pen. You're a diamond in the rough, Yona, and I look forward to seeing just how brightly you can shine. But you'll have to be willing to go under a little pressure first. And who knows, maybe at the end of this, you'll discover something new, not only about yourself, but perhaps about where you could envision your life taking you. I can't help but beam at my professor's encouraging words. I quickly clutch the paper to my heart in gratitude, and in one deft swoop, sign my name at the bottom. Well, that's it for today. That was episode 1 of Florian Atlas. Next time we will be doing episode 2, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Until then, bye-bye.